What's a bracha on the cheesecake? Cheesecake has a big piece of cheese and a very tiny piece of crust on the bottom. That tiny piece of crust, do you make bracha mezonot on the whole thing, or you make shakol, you make two brachot? Let's see. The halacha is that normally when you have something as a majority and something as a minority, you make a bracha on the rov, the majority, and that's poter, that takes care also of the minority. And therefore, if you have a mixture of things, let's say you have rice, a lot of rice, and small pieces of chicken in that rice. You pick them up together in the spoon. In the spoon you'll have small pieces of chicken and a lot of rice. So you make bracha only on the rice, and the chicken is patur. It's also taken care of. What would be the din if you have a little bit of mezonot in there? If you have mezonot, not like rice. Rice, although it's mezonot, it doesn't get that preference towards other brachot. But you have real mezonot, one of the 5 grains, in the mixture, that always get preference, and that's always would be getting the bracha of mezonot, even if it's the minority. So let's say you have such a cereal that you have over there, in that cereal, all kind of things that are adama or shehakol, and a little bit of cereal has also mezonot in them. They're all picked up together in the spoon. So you make the bracha of mezonot, because mezonot always, even if it's the minority, will get the bracha and take care of the rest of the food. What would be with this cheesecake? You have a very large piece of cheese and a very tiny piece of crust. Do you say that you make a bracha on the mezonot and that takes care of the cheesecake? The problem over here is that since the crust is A, being put there to hold the cheese, and B, when you eat the cheese, not necessarily you have in that bite also part of the mezonot, and therefore you can say that the mezonot of the crust comes to add some flavor to the cheese. Cheese could be ate by itself, it's meant over there for the cheesecake, and the crust is really tafel in that aspect that it's not even there to add some flavor to the cheesecake. And therefore, since that is the case, most of the poskim would hold you have to make over here 2 brachot. You can't say that the bracha of the cheesecake would take care of the mezonot, because the mezonot stands out by itself. You can't say that the crust would take care of the cheesecake, and therefore they would say, take a small piece of the crust, make first mezonot on that crust, and then take from the cheesecake and make a bracha on the cheese itself, shakol. And that is the order. The order is first to say mezonot, and then shakol on the piece of cheese. That is concerning bracha rishona. When we're dealing with bracha achrona, would you say that the cheese would add on to the mezonot to say al hamichya? The answer is no. Although there is such an idea brought down in the Mishnah Berurah that whenever some shehakol comes to spice out, shehakol or any other kinds, comes to spice out the mezonot, even though the mezonot doesn't have enough of a shiur, it doesn't have a kazait in order to say bracha achona, but you'll add on those things that come to spice up the mezonot to add to the shiur of bracha achona of kazait, and you'll be able to say al hamichya. But the poskim say that this is not the case by the cheesecake, because first of all, the crust itself doesn't come to spice up the cheese at all. It's not part of it. It's a separate piece. Secondly, when you eat it separately. So you have over here, first of all, it's not a spice, it's not tavlinim. Secondly, it's separated, it's totally different thing. Therefore, many of the poskim say that this requires also bracha of nefashot. Unless you ate a shiur of crust of kazait, then you'll say al hamichya on the crust. But otherwise, if you didn't eat enough, as usually you don't have enough in the cheesecake to have a kazait of crust, and therefore you'll have to say bracha achona on the cheese, and that is nefashot.